Young people that get married can make it, just like older people that get married can make it.
You've almost got it. So for context, everyone, this was the woman who commented on my mutual's videos that it is a fact that most child-free women who are 30 years old or older are depressed. And no matter what any child-free person said, this woman says we're all doomed to be depressed. She then says that she's coming out ahead of us because she is married with a child at 24. So I pointed out to her that the statistics on people who get married young, like her at 19, are a little bleak. And no, I'm not against people getting married young. And I know it can work out, like my parents are an example of that. They were very young when they got married and they're still together almost 40 years later. And this is the point in most of my videos where I would pull out stats, but this woman says that all statistics, even the ones that support her point, are paid off, so they're pointless. But I guess she has her own internal statistics about depressed women in their 30s, probably like 2 women that she knows. Also, why are we not talking about men? But she's almost got the point. So let's take this video of hers saying why she is not a young marriage statistic and apply it to why child-free people over 30 are not a depression statistic.
Well, I guess there's something to be said about anomalies. Young people that get married can make it, just like older people that get married can make it, and vice versa.
Well, I guess there's something to be said about anomalies. People over 30 without kids can be happy just like people over 30 with kids. And people with kids can have depression just like people without kids can have depression. It's almost like many mental illnesses are genetic and or can be caused by environmental factors like someone's family and home life. How dare those of us who have been depressed since childhood, should we have had a baby to fix that, not want to pass that on? It's like we have the experience and foresight to tell us that would be a bad idea. Anyway.
One of my friends, a little bit younger than me, I think, got married. And I went and, celebrated them and congratulated them. A year later, they got divorced. What's that got to do with me?
One of my friends, a little bit younger than me, I think, decided not to have kids, and I was happy for them. Then they developed depression. What's that got to do with me? Especially since once you add in that many people with kids are also depressed. Barring PPD, their depression is often situational because it's hard to be a parent in this current economic climate. And before the woman I'm responding to says, it's not hard for me, again, anomaly. So should I mock depressed parents for their depression like you mock child-free people for our depression? Should I say the tried and true, you asked for this by having kids, don't complain now? No, I'm not going to, because I understand nuance. As the sources show, though I know you don't care about those, the rate of depression between parents and non-parents is pretty much the same all throughout life. Because everyone has struggles, and while kids can alleviate some of those struggles, they also make some of those struggles worse. So, as you asked, what's that got to do with me?
At least she's not settling.
Ah, so you applaud other people for not settling. But people who don't settle by having kids they don't want, they're depressed. Make it make sense.
Everybody's dating rules as a kid were different. Everybody's household was different.
Everyone's childhood was different, and often factors into their decision on whether or not they're going to have kids. Let's say someone had a terrible childhood. That person could go one of 3 ways. They may decide not to have kids because of that experience. They might decide to have kids so they can give those kids the life they never had. Or they might decide to have kids and perpetuate that generational trauma, which I'm sure you don't believe in. You seem like a psychology denier. Both of the first 2 choices are very valid. The third is very common and will be more common if people listen to you about mental health and having kids.
But, my husband's great. I don't regret marrying him at all. But ridiculous.
And my life is great. I don't regret it at all. And I have 10 years of life experience on you. So I have much more perspective. Have seen a lot more, but ridiculous. Most of us are the rule, not the exception. And that goes for you too.